Good Sunday morning. I'm Paul Lisnick. Coming up on WGN-TV Political Report.
Over the course of these 100 days is that there's not a challenge too big and there's not a challenge too small for us to address.
Mayor Brandon Johnson marking almost 100 days in office, and he's not apologizing for moving slowly on his agenda. Plus,
let's stop letting Democrats have one-party rule.
You know what works to protect everyday Illinois families? Winning works.
the road to 2024 starts at the State Fair. How both parties are trying to build momentum before election season gets underway. And later, we'll take you to Washington, what lies ahead when Congress returns to Capitol Hill next month with Illinois Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi. Well, we have lots to get to this morning, but first, after promising to reveal evidence that proves there was fraud in the 2020 presidential election, former President Donald Trump says he'll stay quiet this week as his lawyers prepare for yet another arraignment this month. He's facing 13 counts in his fourth indictment, this one connected to his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia specifically. Trump and his 18 co-defendants have until Friday to appear at the Fulton County Jail to be booked. The sheriff has indicated this surrender won't be like Trump's others. He says he intends to treat Trump and these defendants like anybody else. So fingerprints, mugshots, they'll be taken. And Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis wants this trial to move fast. She actually has proposed a March start date. Joining me this morning to talk about this is University of Georgia School of Law Callaway Chair Emeritus Professor Ron Carlson. Professor, thanks for joining me this morning. Good to see you. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you for the program, Paul. Looking forward to it.
Same here. So let's just set the framework, because Fulton County in Georgia, a little bit different than we've been seeing in the rest of the country. For one thing, booking, arraignment, separate proceedings there at different times.
Very separate proceedings. The booking has to be completed by the 25th of August. So the folks will come in, as you pointed out very correctly, for fingerprinting and mug shots, and that's relatively unusual. In the other cases, I understand there were no mug shots taken, but the sheriff, as you reported, is saying regular procedure for these folks.
So this is a RICO case, and most people, when they know RICO, they think of it as it's gangsters, it's mobs, it's something like that. How does that apply in this case?
Well, right, and I think most people think of mafia and the mob when they think about RICO, but it's been used successfully by this particular district attorney in Georgia in other sorts of cases. For example, there was an Atlanta teacher's cheating scandal. And in that scandal, she charged a number of teachers. 12 went to trial. She convicted 11 of the teachers under a RICO. And then there is the Young Slime Life trial, which is presently going on, a big sprawling gang trial. And those defendants are also being tried on a RICO charge.
Well, let me ask you, Professor, does RICO make it more complicated? You got 19 people in the courtroom. She's trying everybody at once. In the trial you're referring to, jury selection took 6 months just on its own. How does she get this tried in March?
And it's still going on. But you're right, Paul, it makes it immensely more complex. And with 19 defendants and all of that evidence, this is a very sweeping indictment, unlike the others in the other cases. And the situation is that it's not going to be able to be tried by March 4th because of the complexity. All the charges, 41 count indictment, 161 preceding acts on the RICO, 13 charges against Trump alone.
Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff, he's already made a motion to have his case, as the law calls it, removed from state court to federal court. There's no doubt that former President Trump will make the same motion. In fact, many of these people might make that motion, but not everybody really can. Under what grounds can you have your case removed into federal court, and why do they want to have it sent to federal court?
Oh, those are excellent questions. Now, they want to move it to federal court because the jury pool in the Northern District of Georgia, U.S. District Court, will be much broader, much wider than if this case is tried in Fulton Superior Court. It will make it a much more Trump-friendly jury pool in the estimation of the Trump lawyers. Now, it's hard to move this from a state to a federal court, but there's a special federal statute that says if you were a federal official and you were completing official acts, you have the right to take a state criminal charge over those acts into federal court. Trump will argue and his allies will argue, hey, these were government officials, federal government officials. This is a violation of federal sovereignty to try these folks in state court. We belong in federal court.
And Professor, what is the point? What do they want to go to federal court for? What does it get them? And it has to do probably with the jury.
It absolutely has to do with the jury. It'll be a much broader, much more spread out jury pool with the metro counties being involved as opposed to Fulton County alone, which would be the case if it were only a state trial.
So some thought that the removal might mean Trump could pardon himself if he becomes president. That is not the case. But if he is convicted in Georgia, he would have to look to, in most states, the governor and get a pardon. But Georgia is its own world.
Yes, it is very much its own world. The Georgia situation took off from years ago when a governor was accused of selling pardons, sending his chauffeur to the prison camps in Fulton County with the papers filled out for Joe Jones or Sam Smith. The chauffeur apparently would call the people in, say the authorities, and the chauffeur would present the pardon paper to the prisoner, and then they would negotiate the price. The governor was eventually acquitted, but as a result of that, the Georgia folks set up a board of pardons and paroles, and this is one of only 6 states where exclusive pardoning power is in the hands of the parole board, not the governor.
And pretty much a yes or no question, Professor, all we got time for. Do you expect this case to be tried in March, or do you expect other cases to come before it?
Oh, no, it will never go in March. It's too complex. Now, I'm not sure it will go to the next century, but it'll come close.
All right. Professor Ronald Carlson, Professor Emeritus at UGA, thank you. I appreciate your time. We'll talk to you again because this is just getting underway. Thank you, sir.
Good. Thanks, Paul.
All right. And coming up next on WGN TV Political Report.
People are asking the same question, no matter what neighborhood I get a chance to go visit and hang out in. What can we do to help?
Nearing 100 days in office, Mayor Brandon Johnson acknowledging his plans for Chicago are going to take some time. Part of his one-on-one interview with WGN is when we come back. And later, Congress gets ready to return to Capitol Hill, where political battles over defense spending, a government shutdown, and the ongoing migrant crisis await them. We're talking to Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, so don't go anywhere.